All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. And in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division, where a prediction that was made by Leonard Ellerbe, the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, has come true. And more blockages have been put into place in the face of Terence Crawford and his desire to become a three-time undisputed champion, which means that he does not have the options that he thinks he has and should probably not be trying to take things off of the table. As we know now, Charlo will not be available to fight him for the 3 belts that he has. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 154-pound division where we get a good case of I told you so. And in this situation, it's something that I told you that was backed up by Leonard Ellerbe of Mayweather Promotions, and it relates to Terence Crawford and his options for his next fight. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. It really does mean a huge deal to the channel. Thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks, Matty O, and every Barbara D, everybody else. Thank you, Paul Carrick. Thank you so much, Mr. Pragmatic. People that continue to support it makes a really big deal. And of course, David Williams, thank you, sir. But let's get into this because, look, man, boxing politics, we talk a lot about it in this channel. And we talk about all kind of different things. But boxing politics is one of the things that we really do talk about on a regular basis because it's really, in my opinion, it's not that complex. And a lot of times you really see what's going to be taking place before it takes place. And after Terence Crawford had won his title at the 4 titles at 147 pounds, he said some things that I thought right as soon as he said them, I was like, man, I don't know what he thinks his options are, but they don't look as great and as big as they say, as many people think that they are. And so when the announcement was made yesterday that the IBF was going to make Charlo or fight his IBF mandatory or be stripped if he does not fight Bakram or Mortazaliev. That's Bakram Maliev, who is the IBF mandatory now. It just put a nail in what I had been saying and where in the critique that I had for Terence Crawford when he listed off all of the people in a tweet one time that he wasn't going to fight. Now, Leonard Ellerbe also responded to that same tweet, was asked about it, and what he said was, he said, look, man, he's like, I really like that Terence Crawford is talking more, but you know, sometimes you think you got more options than you really do. You may think that some things are options, but they're really not options. And he says, look, man, I can't tell you everything that I know, but you know, you really should never say never and cut out options and prevent yourself from you know, cutting off you know, available options for you. And so what happened since that time? You have Canelo out. First of all, Canelo Alvarez fought Charlo. And Canelo Alvarez beat Charlo, and he beat him in a one-sided fight. Now, I think that the manner that people are acting like that fight, the reaction to that fight is over the top, right? Just calling him, a lot of people calling Charlo a coward, and he didn't fight back, and all of that type of stuff. I mean, come on, man. I never bought that. I don't buy into that. However, it was a lopsided win, and it is a fact that it left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. people who were supporting Jermell Charlo as well as those people that were not. So after that fight, Jermell says, no, Terence Crawford says, no, he's no longer on my hit list because he fought like a puppy. So off goes him. Then, well, that's what he said, right? But now it is completely locked down and gone because Jermell's not even available to fight him. He also said that he didn't want to fight Keith Thurman and he didn't want to fight Danny Garcia because they didn't fight him earlier in his career. And now that he's the big money man and on top, everybody wants to fight him. And then Danny Garcia responded to that by saying, man, I'm already a millionaire, brother. I don't need to fight you. Like, very clear, obvious statement, man. Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia have been in multi-million-dollar, really big fights for a long time. For as long as Terence Crawford has been fighting, those guys have been doing the same thing. And I do believe for large portions of it, making more money. So none of these guys are really pressed to fight him. You got Canelo said that there's nothing in it for him. And quite honestly, there really isn't anything anything in it for him, other than a big payday that he's going to get fighting other people anyway. But more importantly, that's what he said. So he said he's not going to get anything out of it. So here we are again. Now, where are we with this? You have Terence Crawford that if he goes up to 154 pounds, that's pretty much blocked off unless he's going to get a fight with Tim Tszyu. And I'm not sure how Tim Tszyu was a big fight for Terence Crawford. Terence, and by the way, Tim Tszyu is about to fight Brian Mendoza, and that is not a foregone conclusion that he's going to get that. Then you're going to have Jermell, who's not available, fighting Murtazaliev. And if he if he doesn't, then he doesn't have the IBF. And then you have two belts, which is the WBC and the WBC and the WBA. And you're gonna have two more fights after that if you can get those two fights in order to get to the undisputed title. So both of those undisputed titles are pretty much off the table for at least the next year and a half, if not 2 years. 2 years with Canelo tops. And I know there's a lot of people doing videos, a lot of media push out there about getting Terence Crawford to fight Canelo, but dude, there was a lot of that with Jermall Charlo years ago and a whole lot of other people like David Benavidez, and it has never taken place. So look, man, more than likely, Terence Crawford's going to have to buckle down, sit there and fight those guys at 147, the guys in his division, if he gets past Errol Spence Jr. again, which is an entirely different conversation and situation. But, you know, it just, again, the politics of boxing. You do not know, you should, and I don't believe you should do this in life, period, is just say what you're never going to do. Because the world has a funny way of turning out. Life turns out and takes all kind of funny flips. There is a point in time where I said, I married my wife, and my wife is from a city and it was a city that I had visited, and I didn't really enjoy the city. And I said, look, if there's one place I am never going to live, it's going to be there. I'll wind up living there for like, I don't know, 9 years, something like that. Probably a little bit longer than that. Yeah, almost 10. I wind up spending almost 10 years living there. It's just things happen. So look, man, my advice would be I wouldn't give Terence Crawford advice. He can do what he want to do, but just never say never, unless you're saying the never part of never say never. Never say never. The biggest fight for Terence Crawford, other than the Errol Spence Jr. rematch, is going to be Jaron Ennis. And that's what Showtime said. So hopefully we get to see it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.